Just before we get into the video, I wanted to ask you guys to follow my Twitch, YT_Codex, and subscribe to the channel. And I wanted to let you guys know that none of the information that I'm using in this video is older than 15 years old, which is really when esports kind of kicked off. It's been around for longer than that, but I just wanted to clarify that because some of the statistics are, all of the statistics I'm using are 15 years or newer. So just in case anything comes up like that. Alright, now we can get into the video. Esports really kicked off in 2005 with the World Esports Championships, which brought players from every country around the world to compete against each other. And really the main event of that was CSGO, and that's what I've got up here. And this really kicked off esports, even though esports really wouldn't become too popular for another 10 years. So CSGO was really the first game that was built with gaming competitions on a large scale. Throughout the past few years, gaming had become a little bit more popular, and games like CSGO were just becoming more mainframe. There had always been, first-person shooters, but none of them really took gaming by like such a storm. There was Halo, but Halo was still yet to come. Halo would really become the first really big money-making esports event. So CSGO really kicked it off with the classic, it's the classic terrorist counter-terrorists, and the way that this really changed up esports was it made everybody realize that this could be a thing, and it really doesn't become a thing, though, for the next 10 years. And I'm going to get into that now.
Might tell you he's the best Genji in the league. I don't think anyone believes Super is the best Genji in the league, but for someone who's played main tank for most of their career, except way back when him and his team were so good that there was times where he would just mess around on Tracer and the rest of his team.
Overwatch League's been around a while, but it hasn't quite shaped the community in the way that WEG, or World Esports Championship, did. World Esports Championship really kicked off esports, but Overwatch broadened it. It made it a much more visible platform. They went on YouTube, they went on Twitch, and since 2005, those have become so much bigger platforms than they were when the World Esports Championship came out. They didn't even have that stuff on YouTube. It was just live TV, and Overwatch has been on live TV. Now, Overwatch League was a lot more popular, and it still is popular, but it's died down a little bit with a lot more popular games coming out, like Fortnite and League of Legends, that have really taken over the esports, they've become the face of esports. A lot of you may have seen the statistic, right? League of Legends pulls in more viewers than the Super Bowl. Well, Overwatch made that possible. Because if League of Legends just started streaming, if League of Legends was in the place Overwatch was, it would have not gotten those viewers, because Overwatch brought the possibility of players making money for teams on and playing video games. They made that possible. So Overwatch really brought that in, but this video isn't about Overwatch or esports in general. It's how Fortnite has shaped esports. So let's get into that.
going for this late damage, but doesn't stay too long.
So, Fortnite World Cup. It was possibly like the biggest esports event, and it was a big deal. Everybody knows Booga won. It's quite a big deal, actually, but it really has become a lot more knowing that every week there's Fortnite tournaments, qualifiers or finals, all sorts of things. Right now it's the Booga Throwback Cup, and right now they're actually doing the FNCS Invitationals. So these have money. The World Cup had a $30 million prize pool in total. Booga walking away with $1 million of that. Now, that money is relative, right? $1 million, then you got, taxes and stuff, and you really don't walk away with that much money. Now, Centennials, it's the average team pays $3,000 to $5,000 for their player, and depending on how valuable they are, their skill. So, if you're playing top chart for your team, and they're paying you $5,000, you're gonna get it's $5,000 a month, so you're gonna get $60,000. Now, if you're not getting paid as much as that, then you're not making that much money, and really $60,000 isn't a ton of money, but it's not bad. And if you're good enough and you're big enough to be on a platform, say Twitch or YouTube, and you make money doing that, like YouTube you get money for views and ads, or Twitch you're gonna get money off of donations, then you can rack up a lot more money. Players like Booga, Tfue, Mongrel, even like Cypher PK, who doesn't really play competitive, still get donations because they're on platforms like Twitch and YouTube, and they get money doing that. So you don't have to be a really, really good competitive gamer to make money off of games like Fortnite, but Fortnite shaped esports because $30 million prize pool is huge for a game. I've got a statistic up on the screen right now. So, this statistic really shows that Fortnite has $64.42 million prize pool. Now, I said earlier that the World Cup was, and I'll bring the statistic back up and talk about it later, but I said earlier that the World Cup was $30 million, and that's true. No other game, though, like Fortnite, has cash cups or games that really, or other tournaments inside the game that people can qualify for. So you've got the big national or regional championships where you win. In some games, it's going to be like $50,000 or $500,000 or maybe even $1 million. I'm not sure. But the idea is that you can get that much money in one day. But whereas for Fortnite, you can qualify for like 4 or 5 different tournaments in 2 or 3 months and make $1 million just doing that. Plus, you're getting donations, Twitch, and if you're good enough, you'll be making that $1 million. But if you're not good enough, then you'll be making maybe, $50,000 or something a little bit less. But it's still money. So, yeah, so I'm going to bring that statistic back up right now so that you guys can see the other games. So, Dota 2 is up there with 46,000, or 46 million, sorry. It's actually even closer to 47 million. But then you got Counter-Strike, and they're, 25 million, 26 million above those. Counter-Strike and PUBG. Overwatch, almost 10 million. League of Legends, 9 million. And then these other games. And there are more games going down. But these are just the top few, right? So the reason Fortnite's so much higher, because it's almost 20 million higher than the others, is because it's got it's got cash cups and stuff like that, and that's the reason that it's so much higher than all the other ones. Other games don't really have cash cups and stuff like that. So, but I'm gonna bring in an example. The sports, Fortnite, is considered to be a way to make money, but not that sustainable. Gaming, not just Fortnite, but gaming in the first place. But let's bring in football. Football is, people see players like Russell Wilson or Tom Brady, and Tom Brady doesn't make that much money, but he's not a good example. Russell Wilson makes tons of money playing football, throwing, being a quarterback, and it's amazing how they made it there. They trained their entire lives, and sometimes that's what it takes for esports players. But really, in Fortnite, there's not, you don't need that much because there's so much more you can do. Now, think about it this way. In football, there's 32 NFL teams, and each player as of 2017 makes about 2.7 million, and that is the best average because in 2019 it was 2.1. So let's bring that to perspective. 1,696 players total make an average together of 2.7 million. Now, that's a lot of money. But then don't forget the taxes, but those aren't important. Let's say they're making 2.7 million minus taxes. That's just how much money they're getting. That's 1,696 players. That's less players than are in the Fortnite competitive scene. So, if we think about it, right, the NFL has a lot less potential to make this money, even though sports is really, really rewarding, right? And it gets your name out there a lot more than esports does right now. But you're not making, you might make more money, but you're not making as much money in the long run. 3 years is the average NFL career, and the way that we're going with Fortnite right now is players are making that much money almost in a year with prize pool and stuff like that. But it's amazing how many more players there are in the Fortnite competitive scene, but there's so many more in those other games that I showed you that are making tons of money. But Fortnite players like Buga and Tfue have made a lot more than 2.7 million. Ninja way more. Um, I mean, he's literally buying an island, so yeah. But let's just really wrap it up here, and let me just explain it. So, Fortnite really brought together the esports by bringing the opportunity for players to make so much more money. And I know I've kind of rambled this video, but the way Fortnite has changed esports, in my opinion, is how they increased the possibilities of the money you can make and the players that can participate. I mean, they literally had a stadium in New York that they brought players and fans and everybody, and it was a whole big deal. And it became a meme, but that's how everything works out, right? But with this, Fortnite's changed it because players can make so much more money than they can doing other things, and I feel like esports should be a little bit more respected for this because so many people are saying that there's no opportunity, but they don't understand it. Those are the people that don't get what these players are doing and what they're actually capable of in perspective of video games. And if their video game skills were real life skills, like not like being able to shoot and build and whatever, but like if you could play video games as well as you did your other jobs, you'd be making so much more money than these other people.
Literally